Here's mine. Well, I don't have very interesting dreams.
This'll make a great heart attack.
Shake yourself.
Oh, that is very clever. He had me guessing right up to the end. Hey, I've done a picture of ice hockey. You've got to see this. Oh, I'm too much.
Have you ever noticed how many different types of clouds there are in cartoons and comic strips? They're everywhere. Well, to start with the obvious one, weather clouds. Now, clouds up in the sky are very easy to draw. It's just a case of drawing little curved lines in a ring like that. And you can put one cloud behind the other, like that. Or you can make them an irregular shape. You don't just have to do a ring. You can do them going all over the place like that. And you could even put the sun behind them, just radiating out like that. And if you want to make your clouds look even fluffier and thicker, just take a light blue pen or pencil, just draw some little curved lines along the inside of the cloud. They look nice and thick and fluffy like that. Well, it's not just weather clouds that you get in comic strips. What about some special effects clouds? Now, here's a dust cloud to start with. And you've got this dust cloud just creeping along the floor like this, little curved lines creeping along the floor, and they get bigger the further away from whatever's making the dust. Look at that. And what about some whoosh clouds? There's a whoosh cloud. Watch this. Makes it look as if the car is whooshing along. Now, here's a good tip to remember how to draw whoosh clouds. Just remember 33. Watch this. Little 3, big 3, and then a couple of whoosh lines. And there you have a whoosh cloud. Do it again. Little 3, big 3, and then you've got a whoosh cloud. Now, you also get whoosh clouds in explosions. Explosions are very easy to draw. You just draw this very crazy star shape and write inside it whatever noise it's making, bang, crash, or even wallop. And then you've got some whooshes coming out the side. Remember? Little 3, big 3. I'll draw another one in there. Little 3, big 3. And if the whooshes are going the other way, you have to draw the 33 back to front. There it is. One up there. Little 3 and a big 3. It's OK. Let's put some special effects clouds into this comic strip. There's Cowboy Tex riding across the desert on his horse, dust absolutely everywhere, little curved lines just creeping along the floor, getting bigger the further away from the horse they get. Lovely weather, though. There's just one cloud in the sky, little ring of curved lines there. Tex gets very tired and he decides to stop off for a coffee break. So he lights his campfire, and you get little puffs of smoke coming off the campfire, just rising into the air again, just drawing little curved lines in a ring. Very soon, he falls asleep, and his coffee pot starts to boil, and you just get whooshes of steam coming out. Little 3, big 3, there's a 33, do another one there. Little 3, 33, there it is. Meanwhile, on the other side of the mountains, the Indians are watching the steam rising from Texas campfire. Now, as we all know, cowboys and Indians love their coffee. So all the Indians get onto their horses and go galloping across the desert towards Tex. Dust flying everywhere. Look at that, little rings just getting bigger, creeping along the floor as they get further away from the horse. Now, Tex panics. He thinks they're chasing him. So he gets onto his horse and he gallops off into the distance with a whoosh. Now, this whoosh is back to front, so you've got a little 3, big 3, another 33 back to front there, and one more down here. Watch this. Little 3, big 3. And so the Indians didn't get their coffee after all, which made them very angry. In fact, so angry, they've got whooshes of steam coming out of their ears. Look at that. And there it is. Try it yourself. Put some special effects clouds into your cartoons.
My name is Nicola and I designed the illuminated letter B. I painted all the detail in lots of different colours and did the background in blue.
My name's Matthew. I had an heart attack with the illuminated letter J.
My name is Lisa and I designed an illuminated letter. First I put it down on paper, then winked over with wax crayon. I decided to do my background in pink.
Oh, they're brilliant. Nothing like a good piece of fancy letterwork, I say, and all of that detail. And there's a good way of getting a detailed effect. If you just cut a piece of pattern paper, any type of paper that's got a pattern on it, could be wrapping paper, could be wallpaper, even a magazine photo that's got lots of detail in it, and cut yourself a piece of it, and then just draw a big block capital letter right there in the middle. Now, you could do any letter you like. You could do your initial. I'm just going to do A for heart attack. Just make it as neat as you can. You can always neaten it up when you're cutting it out. There it is. That's my letter. And then cut it out, and you have something that looks like that. And then cut a square out of another piece of pattern paper that's just bigger than your letter. This time, a different coloured pattern paper. Or you can use a photograph. Look at that. That looks good. But it has to be a contrasting colour or design. I think that's good. Very different. So I'll use that. And then just place or stick your letter onto this square of paper and then stick that onto a piece of plain paper so that you have something that looks like that. And now the fiddly bit. Take a gold pen and then very carefully just go around the edge of your letter with the gold pen. Just very carefully following the raised edge of the letter that you cut out. And it's a good idea to cut that letter out very neatly so that you have a nice straight edge to go along. And just do it very carefully with your gold or silver pen. Silver pen would work with this. When you've done that, go around the outside of your pattern square, like this. And don't rush it. Just doing it very carefully. And when you've done it, you've got something that looks like that. Look at that, your own illuminated letter. And you can do your own design instead of using pattern paper. Just back a patterned letter onto some ordinary paper, like that. And I've cut this A out of wallpaper. And as you can see, I've gone around it in gold pen and then around the plain piece of paper in gold pen. And then just put some geometrical designs on there. By geometrical designs, I mean straight ones. And when you've done that, just put some fancy doodle work in there, because those illuminated letters always seem to be very fancy, didn't they? Watch this. Just freehand curls in there all the way along. Maybe the same in this one, up there. They always had curls and leaves on their illuminated letters in the old days, didn't they? Remember those big manuscripts? Maybe some stripes in there like that. And then here's another good idea. Look at this. If you take a 2p coin and just place it halfway over the edge of your square like that, and then with gold pen, just go around the outside of it, and then move it up, and do it again, and move it up again, and keep doing it, and go all the way around your square, and maybe you could even put some dots in like that. All adds to the pattern. And when you've gone all the way round, you'll have something that looks like that. Look at that. A homemade illuminated letter. I think that's a brilliant effect, that. And what do you do with them? Well, you could stick them on the front of exercise books, or maybe on the front of a greeting card and send it to someone. And what about using it to start a piece of writing like they did in the old days? And you know what? You could also do a whole word out of illuminated letters, maybe art or even your name, and stick it on your bedroom door. Try it yourself, an illuminated letter, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!
It's that time again.
The Animaniacs burst onto our screens with a vengeance tomorrow to remind us of the true meaning of silly. And yes, it's true. Due to overwhelming public demand, Sooty & Co. are back to cause more mayhem. And tomorrow sees the start of our brilliant new teenage drama, Island. 7 people are about to have the most exciting summer of their lives. See you tomorrow.
Just be there.
He was an ordinary Australian schoolboy until he got lost and entered another world.
What year is this?
Neither past nor future.
That's where Paul is, in a parallel world.
A world run by Spellbinders. He would need the wisdom and ingenuity of both worlds to outwit the Spellbinders. Will he ever find his way back? A spellbinding adventure, Wednesdays at 20 to 5 on CITV. Spellbinder.
We have a regular appointment, 5:10 every weekday afternoon on Central at Auckland's Accident and Emergency Clinic for Shortland Street, and that's next.
When I finish shopping, you know, the first thing I do before I even unpack, I have Magnum. Well, why not?
I always have my Magnums tucked away in the freezer.
When the phone rings, I let it ring. It's my moment.
I have this nightmare. I go to the freezer for a Magnum and they're all gone.
No! Ho, ho! Just the one for me, thanks. Oh.
Cadbury's Creme! How do you eat yours?
What fish fingers for tea? Where are we?
Don't worry where you are. Follow the stars. The goal's not far. You found my goal. Tuck in. I'm caught in my special crop. Now, onward bound. Birdseye, fantastic fish fingers.
If you've a passion for tradition, for folklore, a passion for food, and characters, if you've a passion for the great outdoors, then this is your heartland. Heart of the country, Tuesday Time Out at 7:30 on Central.
If only life were a bed of roses.
I want to surrender to your powerful, pulsating, manly passion.
And romance was par for the course.
I've waited for this moment all day.
But Ed...
Shut up! I've been waiting for this moment all day.
But life's no fairy tale. Married for Life, Tuesday at 8:30 on Central.
There's an epidemic of romance with complications breaking out, and 2 members of Cardale's peak practice are showing serious symptoms on Central at 9 o'clock tomorrow.
I showed Mrs. Walken absolute positive proof that Ramona Darby ought to be ducks, and she fobbed me off with a load of excuses. Anyone can see it's just because Ramona's pregnant. I thought I'd give the students with a conscience the option to attend or not attend a rigged prize giving.
And this is because you're not in line for any prizes, is it?
No, Charlotte, it's because the wrong person is getting ducks.
I talked to Ramona today. It was quite upsetting, actually.
Bet it was. Offer to give up ducks, did you?
She told me something very interesting. It turns out the baby's father's from school. One of our 7th formers, in fact. Tim Cunningham.
You two, what's the ear?